and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Horseshoes and Hand Grenades, the show that brings you the latest, greatest, and odd and crazy news from all over the planet. I am your host, Steven, here to bring you on a journey of epic proportions. But we ain't got no notes, because where we're going, we don't need notes. It's New Year's Eve. It's about to be the end of this most hellish year in the recorded history of our recorded history. We're moving on to another year, which is likely to change nothing but dagnabbit if a symbolic reset doesn't mean something every now and then. And I do say that today's symbol is a big, giant, flipping middle finger. That's because that's all I've got to leave 2020 with is a straight up your butt with a coconut. Anyway, Ashley is here with me to ring in the new year. We're going to do it together as the Wonder Twins that we are. High five from space. Which way do I go? That way. High five. Yeah. So
We're like
we're
3
all
seconds
here.
away from each other.
We
Oh,
are.
you mean everybody else?
As the crow flies? 3 seconds as the
Well,
crow flies?
if I hit every light, I can literally be at your door in 5 minutes. The
That's
likelihood of
true.
me hitting every light is infuriatingly slim.
Well, I mean, there's nothing there to physically stop you from going through them, except maybe other cars. But I mean,
Highway.
how often is that? I mean, really? I've played enough GTA to know if you drive fast enough, cars get out of your way.
Yeah, unless
I mean,
they're also going 60 miles an hour and not worried about you and don't if they don't
ooh,
expect the Spanish Inquisition, they don't prepare for the Spanish Inquisition.
that's a really good point. Speaking of the Spanish Inquisition, Ashley, I replaced every flush valve in every toilet in my house.
Why?
I,
Why?
I,
Not why did you do it? Why did you connect that? That's hilarious.
I poop like royalty. I have put tushy bidets on every toilet, and I have put new dual flush valves in every toilet, and I could not be happier with the results.
What do the flush valves accomplish? Like a greater
Well,
suction?
you press the 1 if you pee pee, and you press the 2 if you got turds.
Oh.
Uh,
That's like our
so
hall bath, except it actually works.
yes. Wait, mine doesn't work? What are you trying to say?
No. No. Yours works.
Oh, yours
Mine
doesn't do it
because there's
too.
2 buttons. Sub was like,
Yeah.
which button do I pick? I'm like, either one. Like they both do the same thing. Like if you lift up the mechanism, they both press the same button.
They don't do
I don't
anything
know why
different.
there's multi buttons.
Mine totally does. It has two separate plungers. One's blue and one's green, and you can set them to release different levels of water. So the 2 does the green, and the 1 does the blue. And of course, the blue
Is the
one
blue the
doesn't.
poo?
The blue is the PP.
What? No, that's stupid. The blue should be poo.
Well, you don't see those from outside. It's only in the internal mechanism
Yeah,
that it's
but
blue or green.
that's still.
Why is green not poo? Poo can be green.
Yeah, but blue and poo rhyme, and green is just like
Oh.
I'm saving water with a small flush for pee.
Oh. Good point. I'll leave an Amazon review on it and be like this. I love everything about it except it's backwards. I will say this: it does not release enough water with the number 1 to even make the flush happen. Like there's just not enough water for it to flush. So it just like lets water into the bowl, and I'm like, that's just more water mixed with urine. Like this didn't do anything. So it's just
I
like,
just I see Steve and he's like, I have my this and I did that and I stayed the deck and I made my toilets awesome and da 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 and he pees and he gets ready to flush. He's like, let's look at my handiwork. And he goes, psh.
it just
And I
kind
can
of
just
like
see him standing
waterfalls.
there going, that fucking sucks.
It's just basically, yes. Because I was like, if somebody comes along and they got a poo and they see like this lightly yellow tinged water, you're gonna go, someone peed in this. Like,
Or
why
you
would
say
I
it's
sit down?
recycled water.
Yeah, it's like stupid. So yeah, so I hate that. But it did stop one of my toilets from running. The other toilet, it won't quit running. So I think there's a bad seal between the tank and the actual toilet, which is weird. But I think that's true, and I need to figure that out.
Toilets are incredibly complicated to be as simplistic as they are. Like, the, you
It's all
can either
gravity,
have it.
man.
Yeah, it's just like it either runs, there doesn't like, or it doesn't fill back up, or the plunger like never fully depresses or it floats up too much. Like, so, it's just, they're so frustrating. They're so frustrating. Stealth King's like, what was his? Requires you to hold down the lever to let it flush. So the plunger isn't floating correctly.
Right.
So it made the chains too long in that case, right? If you
They're
even have a
far.
chain, do toilets have chains anymore?
Mine did. Now it doesn't. Now it has a spring mechanism because it's like this big mamma jamma toilet. Awesome. It's like a cylinder. So instead of a flapper, so you got the old. Welcome to plumbing. I'm Bob Vila. I'm here today to explain to you your toilet. So they got this flap, right? And the chain, when you flush, the chain just lifts it up and it floats down back onto the valve, or
Yeah,
the thingy there. Well, this thing is a
right.
big cylinder that sits like straight down into the hole, and it has this like
Oh,
kind of popper that opens up, lets water in, and then it plops back down,
okay.
and it seals better. So the toilet that was running downstairs a lot finally doesn't. The one upstairs that was running is in worse shape because the old valve I had on it would stop filling it with water unless you flushed. So like if the entire tank drained, it wouldn't put more water in the tank. So you had to flip the flusher and then it would fill up again. So it kept
Yeah,
my tank from from just running all night long. This one doesn't
right.
do that. So now every 10 minutes this one will go. It's a little bit of
Oh,
water.
like it lets off the overflow?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hate that. Hate that. Ours in the hall did
So
that
yeah. So
forever.
I have to lock it now so it basically doesn't fill. So I'm like,
Like,
Sam, don't.
you flush, you turn your water off in the back, and then go on your merry way.
It's
Hope I
stupid.
don't forget to turn that on when somebody needs to take a deuce.
Anyway, the bidet's pretty great. Not gonna lie about that.
Hate
How are
toilets.
you? What were you going to tell me before we started the show? And I was like, oh, yeah.
You told me I would forget. Um, it had to
Does
do
anybody
with.
in the chat remember?
Oh, I don't
Uh,
even care now. But you were talking about doing the tapping and the floor is lava thing on Sam's head, which sounds a lot more awful than what you're actually doing.
Put lava on his head at night, and he loves it.
You
He's
jump
one
on
with the
my
plasma.
5-year-old's head because he's a safe spot in the lava.
he's
No,
like, he's watched Star Wars Episode 3, and he was like, that looks like fun.
I have the high ground. Haxor. Still my favorite Atomic Cat comic ever.
Oh, that's
Ever.
good. I remembered
But
that.
no, so I was just thinking about the fact that society is so jacked up and so stressful and just so effing stupid now that we have to tap ourselves and lava our heads to center ourselves enough to effing sleep.
We used to just run from bears and tigers and stuff. Like now we run from other people
No, no, you
in
get upset because you're
compromising
getting
situations.
Steven, I am struggling today. You guys, I actually got to listen to the show last night. The staring at worms.
Yeah, we put
Ghosts
lots of
are
murdering in the chat. A lot of murder, death, MDK.
it was it was much. It was many struggles. But like I've wrapped back around for apathy to just okay, so the baby woke up and took an hour to get him back down, and he didn't want Jacob. So Jacob tried for 9 whole minutes, and the baby cried the entire time. I'm like, that's it. I'm not letting my child cry for 10 effing minutes because whatever. So I went back, took the baby, and he immediately stopped crying because he's a little shithead. He's like, "Oh, mom here. No break for you, bitch." So anyway, I'm sitting in the rocking chair, I'm just like in real bad place, and I'm like, fucking hate everybody. Like, not in a cozy, adorable, like, Hello Kitty effing hate everybody manner. Just, I'm sitting there going, if I go to a bar and throw a Molotov cocktail into the top shelf, that'll explode. And then I can bring down the chain and lock everybody in and then just like kneecap people as they run out the back and be like, motherfuckers should have stayed home, COVID bitches. And like that gave me so much peace as I'm rocking my 8-month-old to sleep. And then I looked down, I'm like, oh shit, he's asleep. Sweet. That went dark quickly. What's
That
wrong with
really did. Well, you've got a lot of hate in your system.
it's
And
so bad.
well, so you said something last night during the show, which it should have rightly enraged nearly everyone, and that was we are 8 weeks away from ending this at every single day. Every single day we're 8 weeks.
Entire countries have nipped this in the bud by just sitting on their asses for less than summer vacation.
Yep.
But, so mm,
No, please go. Staring at Goats Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. But we'll go. This is Ashley's moment.
it's infuriating because okay, I get that you want your hair done. Like people have lost their jobs, people have lost their homes. Like, but nobody thinks about that anymore because everybody can go back to the bar. Oh, look, there's plastic on this. Whee! Um, sorry, I like peeling plastic off of things.
What's that number, Travis? Use the voicemail line and get it all out.
I did. I told Jacob, I'm like, I'm calling, but I don't know if you guys can air it because I need to sit out like a day or two. And I'm like, so one of my DAR sisters, her mother is in the hospital again for the second time alone because nobody can go to the hospital with her because of COVID. And then, like, one of our really close friends, his grandmother died alone in a nursing home because she got there and had to sit alone for 2 weeks because of COVID. I'm like, you motherfuckers, you insensitive, uncaring, unfeeling assholes. Like, oh my God, can you not wait just for a couple months to go get your drink, to go get your hair done, to go get your nails done? If your husband thinks you're a dog faced bitch because you've got some wrinkles that you couldn't Botox out of your butthole and you can't dye your hair anymore, divorce the motherfucker and move on. And then you can go celebrate at the bar with COVID free bitches. Like, just sit your ass down. Like, I don't understand. People are like, oh, the economy, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, the economy still fucking sucks because of what you did and what you're not doing. And it's so frustrating. I do not understand it. I just do not understand it.
And no,
It's
and
frustrating.
yes, you're right. I was talking to Stephanie about the same thing. I said we could have just stayed home for 3 or 4 weeks back in March, April, and
Yeah.
been done. But instead, because the economy needed to survive, we put everybody back out there, and now we're still talking about stimulus checks. Obviously, we made a
Didn't
poor
work.
decision. We decided to go and do so instead of just taking a shot at once and being like, ow, my shoulder. I'm gonna nurse this back to health. We'd
Right.
rather bleed to death slowly. Thank you.
Blow our entire bottom half off and just crawl across the
Just
minefield the rest of the way instead of like limping
I'll
with a
show
sprained
them.
ankle.
I'll show them. I'll drag myself across this finish line. And I'll be
Stupid.
dead when I get there. It is stupid. But it's all stupid. All I know is my mom got vaccinated. So yay.
I'm so
Uh,
glad.
your aunt got vaccinated. Yeah, aunt and
Yep.
aunt. Two aunts who's
Aunt
really a
Connie,
cousin, but she's an aunt
Aunt
anyway.
Dreba. Yeah, how
Yeah.
does it so what's my aunt's sister to me? Is she a cousin? I
She's
should
like an
probably
aunt-in-law or something. I don't
I
know
don't
how that
know.
works. You can ask Wolf from Alpha. What is? Oh, we should just do that. Hold on, I'm gonna
So
do that.
yeah, just yeah, I'm on a three-screen computer with my phone right there.
Wolf from Alpha, my aunt's sister. This is one of the only uses for this that I can think of. She's your genealogy. She is relationship difference. There's really no name. You would just call her your aunt. Possible
Really?
named relationships, aunt. Yeah. Wolfram Alpha is not, I don't know what to do with it. I know it can do pretty intense mathematical stuff, but really I just use it to go, now what is it when your cousin has a kid? What are they,
Wouldn't that have been cool to have like when I was getting one of my math heavy degrees in school? Cool from
Maybe.
Alpha.
It's been around since '05 or '06.
Would it have been great for me to know about it?
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I
know.
could have I would have been happy to tell you, but I was too busy trying to figure out what my, grandmother's brother's sister's uncle's
First cousin was
nephew
removed.
was. Ace is she's all right. It's first cousin once removed.
Well, so
But
it's my aunt. So she's my aunt by marriage. She's my.
right.
I was trying to explain this to Ace and my brain, but so it's my mom's brother's wife's sister.
So
So
your
Aunt
your
Dream is
mother's
my aunt by
sister-in-law's
marriage.
sister. Mother's sister-in-law's sister. Let's see what that comes up with.
Yes.
This
What
is
it
great.
is?
This is great radio.
Yes.
Aunt. It's just your aunt. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not. She's still your aunt, not like second aunt, not great aunt, not
That's kind of what
whatever.
I figured. But like I've
Yeah.
never called her aunt. It's always been Aunt Dreama and Connie. But like it feels weird to say Aunt Connie because I've never said it. but
Yeah.
it feels really weird just to say Dreama instead of Aunt Dreama.
Yeah. Oh, Aunt Dream. I love Aunt Dream. She's like you know how
Jacob.
she's probably the closest to my family that your family has. Like in terms of
Yes.
like behaviors and general
Yes.
attitudes about things. I'm like
Yeah.
Aunt Dream. I remember the first time I met Aunt Dream, I was like, she's my people. She's like me. Not that y'all aren't my people, but like
No,
she's
yeah.
like if I were to go back home to Alabama and meet her, it would not shock me. It would not. I would be like, you are my people, me and you.
Another reason that you a-holes need to stay home and F your hair and your conventions, whatever the hell else you dickholes are doing that's making COVID last forever. I didn't get to see Aunt Drew and Connie and Uncle Kevin, and people had to sit home alone for the holidays because they whatever. But she always, whenever we'd go to set the table, she'd go, Ashley. She's like, now I always forget what side's the spoon go on. So I'd always set the table for it. It always cracked me up
That's amazing.
every year.
It's because it's probably the only time of the year that she bothers to set the table in like in that kind of way.
My
You
mom will
know?
set the table for literally anything.
No, yeah, that's how
Knife,
you know how to
spoon,
do it.
fork.
Yeah, your mom's
Yeah, that's
formal.
yeah. Like for every meal. I didn't realize that I didn't well, I've always hated spoons. I use a spoon for ice cream and cereal.
Sure, spoons are stupid. They have only a very minimal use.
Yes. I mean, you
Soup,
can use a fork for almost anything you can use a spoon for.
except for
Almost.
soup. Soup,
Depends on how
have a
chunky
spoon.
it is. You just
Like
eat the chunks and
that's
then drink
true.
it.
Yeah, that's not also true. It's like potatoes. Potatoes are a toss up. You're getting mashed potatoes. You could do that with a
Fork
fork
or yeah.
or a
I feel
spoon.
like
Like
mashed potatoes with a spoon feels real because I only use
yeah,
spoons for like soup or ice cream. So if I eat mashed potatoes, I'm like,
yep.
this needs a fork. Like even if it
But
has gravy on it, it needs a fork.
your mom will serve like steak, green beans, and corn, and there will be a spoon on the table. And
Spoon.
I'm like, I'm gonna put this in the dishwasher, but I don't have to
Don't
because I
use
didn't
it.
touch it. But because it came out of the drawer and sat on this table, I'm gonna put it in the dishwasher
I would
because
always get it up and put it because we always had two sets of silverware at the house in West Virginia. So there was one real close to where I sat, and then there was one behind where I sat. So I would always pick it up and go put it to the close one, even though it didn't match the suite because we
oh,
didn't
that
use it.
explains it. That explains it. Speaking of not being able to go home, I because I couldn't go home for Christmas, I was troubleshooting my dad's iPhone today remotely.
Oh
Uh,
Lord.
and it was for my tech friends out there. I don't understand iPhones. I mean, I have one, but he had this problem. He calls me and he goes, "My problem, my phone keeps making this awful sound." And I was like, "Well, okay, let me hear what sound it made." It went, "Bing bong," like a doorbell. He was like, "I don't know why it's doing that." So I was getting out of the truck, and Annie slipped on the steering wheel, and it's just started making this bing bong, and then I'd hear it in the background, bing bong, like every 20 seconds. Every 20 seconds, bing bong. And I'm like, what? Is there a notification? No, nothing comes up on the screen. There's no notifications. And I'm looking, I'm like, I've never heard an iPhone make that sound in my life.
Was it
There's
trying to
nothing.
connect to something?
We look, this is what we tried to figure out. I'm like, maybe it has something to do with your truck because it sounds like, your door hung open in your truck going bing bong, doors open. And
Yeah.
he also has a rear a back seat detector to tell you if you've left your kid in the back seat on a hot day. So I thought, well, maybe his phone was like connected to that somehow, and it was going bing bong. I said, well, turn your Bluetooth off. He turned his Bluetooth off. We waited, bing bong. It's like I've rebooted it 3 times. I'm like, okay, that seems like that should have cleared it. He's like, well, let me turn my Wi-Fi off. Bing bong.
What?
Like,
Why?
he said maybe it's my Garmin. We went through he called me 17 times. Like all just
Oh
every five
Lord.
like I just left in the truck and it stopped making the noise. I'm like, okay, well, you're in the truck, where are you now? And then he got home and he's like, then when I pulled in the driveway, bing bong, it started up again. I'm like, what is in the house? He's like, your mama was working on the computer this morning, and I think that something happened with the computer because it's trying to update. I'm like, It's fine. If it's updating, nothing should be going on.
Right,
And then
yeah.
I had them troubleshoot. Anyway, it all comes down to he finally figured it out about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and it was location services. He turned off his location services and it stopped. So somehow, through some means that I don't understand, he has geofenced the house so that when he got home, his phone would just start going bing bong. But we can't figure
Oh
out.
my god,
We
how the
can't, we can't,
hell?
we can't. And there's no notification like paired with it. So there's no banner. There's no like alert. There's nothing. It's just this awful sound every 30 seconds as long as he's at home. So we're like-
Oh, so what purpose would that serve? Like,
I'm trying to figure that out. Hey, phone, let me know when I get home, okay? Bing bong forever.
every 20 seconds remind me that I'm still home.
Yeah, I was going through my phone. I looked through every ringtone trying to figure out which sound it was, and it's not in the phone. So it's some third-party app he's got installed that's letting him know he's at home every 30 seconds. Bing bong.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It's
Oh, I'm
awful.
so curious now.
Oh, it's awful. But he slipped me a 50 to tell that story on the show, so just so I know he's happy.
Hey Tim, you're home.
Yeah,
Hey
yeah.
Tim, you're still home.
He wants to know shows where we talk about him, so he'll listen.
Are you? You megalomaniac.
Yeah, let me know. Let me know if you talk about me. Anyway, I did think it was funny, but whatever.
That's all. I'd have thrown it, Steven.
I was ready to throw it for him because I got to hang up and not hear that stupid noise anymore. He
Bing
had to walk
bong.
around.
Oh, now
with
all I can hear is you going bing bong,
it. Bing bong.
bing bong.
If anybody would like that ringtone, $1, and I'll make a bing bong ringtone for you.
That would be
Anytime
the-
somebody calls you
that's
bing bong.
Just wait till April 1st and upload Steven's bing bong onto your friend's phone.
There you go. I love it. All right, y'all, let's do a factoid. Baby New Year has been a symbol of the holiday since around 600 BC, starting in ancient Greece when an infant was paraded around in a basket in celebration of Dionysus, the god of fertility and wine, because we know those go together real well. The baby represents a rebirth that occurs at the start of each new year. Well done. Hey, man, back in the BCs, I mean, they had
That sounds like feces.
they had to have known when Jesus was going to be born if they counted backwards, right?
Bing
So
bong.
I mean, they were like, "This is."
The whole show. It's gonna be in my head. Bing bong.
Because I mean, what were years before we had years? Right? Like, what were years? Like, why did we go 600, 599, 598, 0,
Oh yeah,
1,
what
2,
were
3,
we
4?
counting backwards
What
to?
were we counting then? We weren't counting backwards, but somebody was counting. But what were they counting and when? I mean, I know it was like 900 AD or something. We decided about ADs and whatnot. But I need to know because I don't know.
I don't know. Ace, I have tasked you
See.
to. Why is my husband dancing like a nutcase?
Is he having the relations with the virtual characters in Cyberpunk again?
Oh my god. I'm sorry. Did you get boned by the Falstaff? Why are you so excited?
Oh, the baby went down. in case
Oh,
you couldn't
Jacob
hear.
got the baby's probably hungry because he didn't eat today. Is he asleep?
He'll be fine.
High five.
Nice. I figured they would have used a different calendar, Travis. I know they didn't
Before-
actually count backwards. I'm just
We
wondering what
count-
their calendar looked like.
So that is a
Gosh.
really interesting question. Like, how did they, or did they just mark passing of seasons and like a year wasn't really a concept?
Well, Travis says they used a 10-month calendar instead of
Okay.
a 12-month calendar. Why do we not just do... The calendar needs work. I think we need to go ahead and fix it. I mean,
Calendar.
2020's
like
been a
different
sucky
people
year
have different
anyway.
Calendars, right? Like there was a Jewish calendar and like there was the what was those people that had the pyramids and they sacrificed stuff and Laura
Egyptians?
Croft was gonna
Wait, what? The Mayans?
Croft was gonna
The
help
Mayans.
them. Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
the
Like
mines.
Tomb Raider 3 was so weird. I'm just like, these people are literally there's just an entire ravine filled with dead and rotting corpses. And she's like, I must help these peoples. And I'm like, nah,
Nothing about Shadow of the Tomb Raider made sense to me. It
no,
was fun
so
enough, but the story was awful. But the first one was good. That first Tomb Raider, the
yeah.
first new Tomb Raider, because you have to explain to your kids, well, there was a Tomb Raider, but nobody plays that now because it's got like 7 polygons and just it's ridiculous.
Just the two giant
Two,
square tots.
it's basically triangle breasts and guns. Just that's
Yes.
what the first one was: triangle
Oh, remember
breasts
how
and
pointy
guns.
everybody's chin was?
Oh yeah, and everybody's like, Lara Croft is my virtual fantasy, and I'm like, you know, you poke your eye
I
out with
know
those
I
things.
like triangle titties.
Yes, that's what I'm hoping for. Like, what? Oh, the big reveal. Oh, good triangles. That's what I was hoping for. Nice and pointy.
But do they jiggle?
But no, rock solid polygons.
She
But
must
anyway,
have been breastfeeding if they were rock solid.
they, were, they were full of life giving stuff. Anyway, so babies and wine are a thing. Yeah, they counted backwards from 776. Okay, so they went. They knew it was gonna happen. They're like 775. Oh, the ancient Greeks based their calendars on the Olympics occurred. Okay then.
See,
You
this
know
like
what?
everybody just had like different calendars until religiosity was like, we shall do this for reasons.
Was Rome, right? The Roman Empire and the Caesars, and they were like, hey, this is what a calendar is, and they like owned everyone. So they were just like, y'all are
I
gonna
like
use
to
this.
believe that Rome fell because there was an ancient Amazon that
Like a person.
wow, that mic really picked that up, didn't it?
Yeah, it really did.
Tonight's New Year's
It's,
ASMR is
yeah.
brought to you.
You know, for something arbitrary and made up, they did a real good job, like keeping it in sync. You know what I mean? Like we know what seasons are, and they land on the same day, and then we knew to add leap days and all this, and then we knew to add that random second in 2016 because we needed a leap second to correct the solar and the atomic clocks. It's amazing. I mean, we shouldn't.
It's literally beyond me to talk about time. Like I don't like my brain does not possess the capacity to comprehend time in any function whatsoever.
Well,
I
the
had no
thing
idea
is,
that today was New Year's. Yeah, what is that? Is it a Christmas present?
no, this is the older birthday present, but you need one of these to fully understand time.
That's pretty
It
cool.
is. Look at this. The door's open. Oh snap!
Oh, that's pretty
Jacob,
cool.
I'd like you to know that Jacob made fun of me because somebody said, Steven, if you could have any car in the world, what car would you want? And I said, a DeLorean. And Jacob was like, why? And I was
Clunk.
like, I don't even gonna talk to you anymore. I'm not even gonna like be your friend. Like,
Oh, we're
why?
not friends anymore.
It's self-explanatory because the doors open up. Like, duh. That's like the coolest thing I've ever seen. 5-year-old me was just completely blown away by that. Never mind the time travel. Those doors opened up. Yeah.
I still
Anyway.
have this memory of getting in a purple Lambo with somebody and like it was and when we were in Maxwell Woods and the doors like flipped up like that. And I remember
Yeah.
getting in and thinking I was laying down, but I have no idea who would have had a purple Lambo and why I would have been in it with them. And the more I think about it, the creepier it gets.
I'm pretty sure you sat in the car of a drug kingpin of Beckley.
But
Because
how did
that's
I
the
know
only
them?
reason anyone in Beckley would have a Lambo is because they'd been selling epic levels of drugs.
And purple.
I know. It sounds really great. That sounds awesome. I wanted a Lamborghini for a time. You can't see out of them though. You basically are
So you
squished
lay
down.
down. You're just
You
like you're
lay down.
laying on a frame of wheels.
Yeah, the windshield is like a 17-degree angle. Like just back. You're laying there. You're looking through it as if you were squinting going down the road. Like a car can squint. Have you ever sat in a Camaro before? Like the new Camaros? You can't see out of those either. You might as well be in a tank. There's just nothing. You can't. You might as well have a little scope.
Do you think
The
we need
periscope
windshields at this
up.
point?
Dude, it'd be real cool if it was just like nothing but camera junk and you just couldn't see out there. I mean,
Right?
that would be cool. It'd be cool for a minute. I'd kind of want to see. I'd start to get
I get real
claustrophobic if
claustrophobic. Yeah,
I'd be like,
yeah.
I don't know if I should trust these cameras. What if they show me something? You know, like the Net with Sandra Bullock. What if somebody hijacks my cameras to make me dead?
Oh,
Pretends it's a
it's
wide open
such a
highway and
fun
I go off a
movie.
cliff.
I loved all of those like internet movies. Those were so good. They were
The
so bad
Net.
because they were so wrong, but they were so good.
There's so many, like, out of all the things that can bother me in those movies, it's usually the stupid things people say. It's like, this entire technology is wrong and badly represented. But it's not that's the issue. It's that the guy says, press Control Shift or press click it, and press Control Shift. I'm like, that's the wrong order of operation. You would say, hit Control Shift and then click it. Nobody would click a thing and then hit Control Shift. That's
Yeah, that doesn't
stupid.
make any sense.
That's the dumbest thing. That old order. I'm like, it stuck with me for my entire life to this point, so I could share it with everybody else about how irritated I was by this
Hack
man's
the
explanation.
planet.
Whatever.
TV's Travis likes hackers. I saw
He
him tweet
does.
about it one day. It made me happy.
You should listen to the episode of I Love That Movie with about hackers with Travis.
Yes, I'm gonna get TV's Travis a Hack the Planet shirt. We're gonna be twins.
You should go on
And
TV's
when
Travis's
the
show.
pandemic is over, and if I haven't set the earth on fire, a la Hellboy, then we can hang out with our matching shirts. That'd be cool.
Oh, we should all hang out. That would be great. I miss y'all people. Not that I've
I
ever
mean,
met most of you in real life, but I miss y'all anyway.
if my child has the vaccine by Dragon Con of next year, my ass will be there.
Yeah, because you need that Is the Oxford one protein based? I know this is the wrong show, but is that
Well,
one Oxford vaccine? Because that one's looks like it's on the road next.
is it? I don't know.
Yeah, let's see.
Whatever's not an RNA thing that we've never tested before, that's not going into the arm of my child.
Good. I just want to read it. New
Mama's
York
sorry
Times.
that you developed a hemorrhaging butthole, William, but we wanted to test the vaccine on you.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't give it to your kids until some other kid has had it and not died.
Like
But to be
multiple.
fair, you mean how long term can we really know? Like, are we looking at we wait 17 years and then go, oh, okay, now we're there.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, well, hopefully
That's
you
what
won't
we've
need
done
it
with
because
the flu.
yeah, I know. What is it? It won't tell me what. I wanted to see if it was a protein one or if it was an mRNA
Well, Jacob's
one.
currently driving poorly on his video game, or I'm sure
Oh,
he
okay.
would fill us in.
Oxford AstraZeneca is different. It's an adenovirus vectored vaccine taken from a common cold that normally infects chimpanzees. So it's a protein-based one. It's been genetically modified virus, so it carries only part of the coronavirus called the spike protein. So it's a traditional vaccine. So that's good news.
Yeah, I think
that's good news.
GNE.
Yeah, so we've got the mRNA-based ones that are out now, and then the Oxford AstraZeneca one it looks like it's going to be coming up next, and it is a traditional vaccine that we have more data for decades about how they work. So that's good news. Good news, everyone.
I would not be surprised if we all just turned into like rampaging zombies. Like
Well,
this last year has just about broken me.
We're going to be a bunch of rampaging zombies if we don't do it. Because we're all going to want to kill each other. It's ridiculous. This like we didn't need more stress. Let's introduce this. Anyway, let's continue signing off on 2020 by telling some news stories. We're on news. And well, I wanted to move beyond COVID-19, but apparently that's impossible. Nurse strips off PPE suit to have sex with a COVID patient in a hospital toilet. They've since been suspended. I love that other countries refer to toilet as like the stall or the bathroom because I always think of toilet as literal toilet. So that just means somebody had relations in a toilet, which is the grossest thing I've ever thought of. Why would go?
Can I please set people on fire now?
I mean, I can't stop you.
This is why we can't have night.
Excuse me, sir. My name's Candy, and I'm a candy striper. Would you like your pole polish? Ah! Hope she gets
That's so
chlamydia
great.
and her butthole bleeds for the next 2 years.
Man, this is yes, I agree. I agree with what you said. What did I watch I was cursing everyone on Cobra Kai the other night because there were these bullies that were just over the top bullies. And I was like, those guys are a bunch of buttholes. I hope they die in a fire. I hope they get butthole warts. I hope a flaming fire ant crawls into their anus and eats their stomach. Like you would,
Oh
it was
my
just,
gosh!
it
That's
was,
so good. I'm stealing that one.
it was brutal. It was brutal. Steffi's like, calm down. It's a TV show. I was like, I just know people like that. I know they're out there and I hate them. And I want them to bleed from every orifice till the end of time, till they shrivel up into a prune. And then I want to step on their face.
That
I
makes me
hate
so
bullies.
happy.
I hate
Amazing. So,
bullies.
has anyone ever in the history of ever calmed their tits when someone tells them to calm down?
Like my actual nipples.
Like, Stephanie goes, Steven, calm down. It's just a show. And you're like, oh, you are correct, madam. I should calm. Thank you for those words of wisdom.
You should also tell depressed people, well, have you tried being happy before? Shut your face. What is that all it is? Is that all it takes? Is that all it takes? I should have tried that years ago. You want to find a good way to make me want to choke somebody? Listen,
Dude,
there are three
I was
three
going to say,
things. Three things all wise men fear: a night with no moon, a sea and storm, and the anger of a gentle man. Uh,
I love that
those
you have that memorized.
I love that quote. It's my favorite. It's my favorite because I'm like, yes, because I will brutalize somebody. I will destroy them. And I'm a real nice person.
Steven
Just
is.
don't be a butthole to other people, and it'll be fine. Otherwise, I lose. I turned into Logan Nine Fingers. And just forget
Those are
forget where I
that
am and wake up covered in blood, going, what? Where am I?
wouldn't that be nice to just go like on a barbarian rager and then wake up and be like, sure they deserved it. Go wash my hair.
Gosh, if you guys haven't read Joe Abercrombie's Blade Itself First Law trilogy, you need to, because that
It's
stuff
real
is
fun.
epic. He plays with some characters. You're like, wait, are Logan Nine Fingers and the Bloody Nine the same thing? Yes and no. It's like the greatest thing I've ever read in my life. I modeled much of my writing after him after that. It has a flow. Anyway, back to the sex in the toilet. A man who tested positive for the novel coronavirus in Jakarta had sex with a nurse in the toilet of the hospital and shared gory details on social media. Like gory? Like what? Like what does that mean?
I
Was that
put it in her nostril. She
but I
liked it a lot.
put it in places it wasn't supposed to go. He uploaded a screenshot of WhatsApp messages that were exchanged between both of them. What happened after the patient posted on social media? This article's hilarious. It like asks a question and then answers it,
I hate that.
which is really fascinating to me. The man and the nurse were both questioned after his particular post went viral on social media. Both admitted they met to have sex in a toilet at the Wisma Atlet quarantine facility in Jakarta. The nurse, in fact, stripped off his PPE suit before the act. Oh boy, he's getting intense here. What did authorities say? Is another subheading because we in India today. They apparently write articles like they're doing a quiz at school. Lieutenant Colonel Ari Herwin, BS, head of information at the regional military command, said that both the patient and the nurse were arrested. Speaking to local media, Herwin said the case has been transferred to the Central Jakarta Police. We've secured the health worker to become a witness and asked for further information. Meanwhile, the patient continues to undergo isolation at the athlete's house. Due to conditions and health protocol rules, the nurse has been in contact with the COVID-19 patient, so is undergoing isolation for some time. I mean, by now, just let them go to town. They're already both
Yeah.
exposed to each other. Isolate
Yeah.
them together so you have less risk of other people.
That
Just
way
be
they
like,
can
oh,
keep on their toilet boning.
yeah, it's like, oh, y'all like each other? Well, let's see how much you like each other after 2 weeks of quarantine. You know, and it's,
Many divorce. I did I talk about the what I was talking to one of my midwives and she's like, "Yeah, the babies have declined. We're thinking it's going to go up in the next 3 months, but the babies have declined." I'm like, "That's because nobody likes each other and wants to put it in anybody or anything right now unless, you hook up in a toilet."
Yeah, they did. People are like, you know what? Give me some space. Like I feel very lucky that I like Stephanie a whole lot, and I'm like, I really don't know what I would do if you weren't here. I'd probably be found laying in a bowl of Bugles and Cheese Whiz, wondering what happened to my life. So
I'm
this is
really
working out.
hungry. We went to mom and we like ate a couple olives and shiz and then left because the baby got tired. Like Jacob spent 30 minutes mashing up apples for the baby to eat because we
They
forgot
do
to bring
that.
food. And he's just like, look, I'm almost 9 months old. If you're eating, I want something in my mouth.
They
But
are hell bent on ruining all your activities. That's their goal.
it wasn't, it was just,
I'm just kidding. Not
he's
their
a
goal.
time sink. He's a
That's a good
time
way to
sink.
put- Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They do that. They have a tendency to be little pains in the butt. I would like to go here. You remember we used to drive out to Wake Forest like 45 minutes, get there and be like, "Well, good to see you," and get back in the car and go home. It was,
You
it
should
was
have
the
told
suckiest trip.
eat a dick. Like, look, you just
Look, I'm
don't
sure it
understand.
was. I'm sure it was tried, but you were a powerful force, and we liked you guys.
Yeah.
So there was that.
That ride too, if you caught it, there were 3 times a day where it was real shitty. So if you caught it during any of those like 2 hour, 3 days of time chunk,
Well,
whatever.
thank God for toll roads because that made it a little bit easier. I'm just paying $75 to go to Jacob's house.
For 15 minutes.
At 70 miles an hour, though. Yeah, baby. I'd pay that. Let's do another one. Small town news. That one's your turn. But I did
don't
like
know
the.
any-
Oh, you can't hear the music. I forgot.
No.
I tried to fix that. I really have. I've done everything. I've done everything I know to do. But I'll get it.
Kentucky man uses flamethrower to clear snow from driveway. That's brilliant. A Kentucky man showed off his unusual method of clearing snow from his driveway with a video showing him using a flamethrower to remove the unwanted snow. That sentence is so redundant, it actually caused me to have an aneurysm. I am
Oh,
now
wow, it
bleeding.
did.
I am bleeding from my ears. That was awful. Timothy Browning posted a video showing him dressed as Cousin Eddie from National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation while drinking beer and using a flamethrower to clear snow from his driveway. I just like that he's got it right up next to his wiener, so it looks like he's ejaculating fire.
I mean, isn't that every man's dream?
Browning
My
Snow
wiener is
Services.
also a flamethrower. Multi-use. It can bear children, it can pee, and it can shoot fire.
Lee Ludella's multi-wiener. I think there's a... Okay. That's a good picture. If I was going to use a flamethrower, it would be to kill aliens. Xenomorphs.
That's a good way. That's a good use of a flamethrower.
If you could robotify your wiener and make it do something else on top of what it does, would you?
No. We've been playing that Cyberpunk, me and Jacob. And I've been thinking a lot about cyber components, and every time I think of the idea of some random doctor with a creepy surgery glove coming at me and going, "I'll just replace your arms, okay? No big deal. Just like getting a tattoo." I'd be like, "Yeah, no." But I did give some thought to the whole thing. They have to fully understand the human brain in Cyberpunk 2077. Like, by year 2077, they have to fully understand it because they talk about prefrontal cortexes and all the different parts of the brain in casual conversation as street people. So, like, it's no different than saying, "I have a forearm bone." They're just like, "We hooked it up to your such and such part of your head. And so you can control it."
Forearm bone?
Yeah.
What's
I don't
your
know what
forearm bone, Steven?
I don't know. Is it tibia, fibula, fibula?
Fibula,
Tibia?
yes! Your forearm bone is your fibula. We are now
Look,
doctors.
I'm not a doctor. I am a tech person. I do computer. I don't
I
know
do
what
computer.
Travis knows everything. Travis's brain is full. Like, I want him on trivia team when he comes to visit.
Travis, it's not a radius or an ulna, it's a fibula. Get your facts straight.
Your tibula and your fibula.
Your tibula and your fibula.
I can almost hear, if Stephanie can hear this, I can feel her rolling her eyes from here.
Fibula. It's not even the fibula, it's a fibula.
A fibula and a tibula.
TV's Travis has broken his fibula and his tibula. Bing bong!
Big bong. I'm gonna make that the show title just so we're ready. Big bong.
Bing bong. I remember Stephanie I would stand in front of her and be like, what's this bone? What's this bone? What's this bone? Because she had to practice for anatomy class.
I remember when I had to study for a muscle quiz or muscle test, and I just sat on my floor going over muscles, memorizing the muscles, dumped it into that test, got an A, and forgot it all after that.
High five!
Wonderful. Yeah. Bling. It's like the academic binging or something. You're just like, I'm gonna binge and purge, and then that's gone. No one needs
Actually,
that
that's
anymore.
a really good way to look at it. I approve of that.
Well, I had other stuff to fill my brain. I had riffs to learn. I had like music stuff. There's other important things that mattered. What did my sister say to me the other day?
Class.
I
What'd
told
she
my
say?
sister I made my mom that grandma jar where we put all those happy notes inside, and I was like,
Yeah.
I suck at note writing. I think I got my note writing ability from my mom because she always says she hates writing notes. Is not very good at it. And my sister goes, "You're a good writer," and I was like, "Yeah, but not little notes." She's like, "Oh yeah, you're good at writing stuff that doesn't matter."
Shit.
And I laughed so loud. I thought that was hilarious. I was like, "You're not wrong. I mean, does fiction matter? No one really knows, but I'm good at that."
I like writing
Long
notes. My
form.
mom's goal when she writes notes is to make someone cry, and she's very proud of it if
Yeah,
she
your
makes
mom's
the
really
person
good.
cry.
She's really good at notes. Your dad's like, the world has gone to hell. I hope you have a great day. Love my kids, Doc.
It is Christmas. I like spending Christmas with you. So dad texted me today and he said, I like the way you think. And I'm like, the fuck? Okay. Like you've never texted me because you don't know how. Dad the other day came over. He's like, Ashley, how do I get this shit off my phone? What shit? He goes, this junk on my phone. And he shows it to me. It's our text message thread with him. Like we have dad in the group. Like, Dad, that's the group text. He goes, there's crap on here from 3 months ago. What is that? And then he like pulled up a gif of some dead actor doing something that Steven posted because Steven is the gif king. And Dad's like, what is this? I don't want this on my phone. Like, Dad, it's just the do you not want to be in the text thread? Like, I don't understand. He goes, it's just on my phone. Like, you're not explaining this at all. So anyway, he sends me a text. And I get over there, he's like, I need to tell you something. Like, okay. He's like, but we'll talk about it tomorrow. And I'm like, oh, no, 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 no.
No.
No, you can't. Like, I am the last person on the planet that you can do that with. You will tell. Well, I want to talk about it while everybody's together. Cute, but nah. He's like, well, he goes, do you know what our family is? And I'm like, he goes, do you know what our last names used to be? Because dad's side is German. Like, yeah. And he's like, well, because Steven was like, lots of Germans changed their names during World War II. And I'm like, yes, they did. Probably smart. So anyway, he goes down this rabbit hole and he's like, you know what they used to call Germans in World War II? I'm like, yeah, the Krauts. He's like, you know why? And I'm like, I guess because they ate sauerkraut. So I had told Dad that I was gonna try to get Trader Joe's to like bring me a sauerkraut outside if I could just pay for it over the phone and just be like set the sauerkraut outside. I'll come grab it, so I don't have to go in the store. Like, because I don't think you can ship sauerkraut. Can you ship sauerkraut
I mean, you could probably
from
ship
Trader
anything.
Joe's?
Why wouldn't you be able to ship sauerkraut? Is like
I don't know because nobody wants to wait for 4 hours in the Trader Joe's line.
just to buy one thing of sauerkraut?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm
Surely they
sending a
could.
shipper in there, then there's gonna be lots of shit from Trader Joe's because I effing miss Trader Joe's so much.
Yeah, you just need an old person to go in then early. You know, like the early old people time. Just be like, hey, old person, buy me some sauerkraut while you're in there.
Yeah, don't touch or lick anything, and I hope nobody's nose gatoring. But anyway, so Dad's like talking about kraut, and he's like, "Well, I had a dream last night," and I'm like, "Okay, like where is this going? Like, what the shit?" And so he starts talking about like how I saved his life in a dream because I reminded him of the sauerkraut. And I'm like, "Is this what you want to tell everybody?" He's like, "No, I think we're in the tribulation times now." Dad, you want me to get you a plate of food? No, I'm gonna get up and get it. Okay.
Like, how can I end this as quickly as possible? I love the way your dad will lead into something like it's really important and it's going to be life changing, and then it's not. Like, let's say I go over there one day and I sit a box on the table, and then I go back the next day. Your dad will grab me and say, "Let me show you something. This is important." He'll walk me halfway around the house and show me the box and where he sat it and be like, "I found this box on the table over there. If you sit it there, it'll leave this mark on this spot. So you have to sit it here." You could have just told me that. Like, we didn't have to walk on this circular tour of your house to get to this point so you could explain it to me. Like, there are things you can do with words that you don't have to drag me around and be like, if you would just say it to me, then we could avoid this. There's been multiple times where he's taken me somewhere to show me something, be like, I knew this already. Like, I did the thing. Like, I did
It
what you're
takes
showing me. Like, I
so
saw this
long.
happen.
So
now,
long.
now I'm just happy to entertain however far around the house he plans to drag me. I will follow him there. Be like,
My
okay.
entire childhood was Dad spending 4 hours, and with the brain that I have, and it was so much worse when I was younger. The boredom was just I'm like, please God be done, please God be done, please God be done, please. But okay, it's been at least 3 hours. Looks at watch, 30 seconds.
just forever. The explanations. He's so detailed. He's so every story. It'll be accurate measurements. I was sitting about from here to the next door neighbor, maybe the road, about where the mailbox is. I'm just like, it was a good distance. It was a medium distant distance.
Oh, it drives him nuts when you do that.
I generalize.
Oh my God.
Everything.
There was this conversation between Steven and Dad that lasted 7 days about Dad. Steven was telling a story. I don't even remember what the fuck it was. It was inconsequential. But Steven said, it was about, it was a good ways. And Dad goes, well, how far? And Steven's like, I don't know, like a good ways. Dad's like, well, was it like a mile? And Steven sat there. He goes, I don't know, like not too far. And Dad goes, well, was it not too far or good ways? And Steven's like, well, a little ways. A year and a half. And I'm like, what are you even talking about now? Like, I don't even
Yeah.
remember what the point of this was, but it was driving Dad insane that Steven would not give him an accurate measurement of distance.
The detail wasn't necessary. That level of detail he was after was not a valid. There was no need for it. It was just more of window dressing around the actual point of the
It was
story.
something about a river or something.
Somehow the river was. I told him that there was a river not too far from our house, and he was like, "Well, how far?" I was like, "I don't know. I haven't been there, but I know it's supposed to be not too far." And he was like, "Well, how far is it supposed to be?" I said, "I don't know, but not too far." And it was just a circle. It was just we kept going in a circle. I was like, "I don't want to tell you how far it is," and then you'd be like, "I'm gonna walk to the river."
Up something at that point.
I know. I can't lie. Why would I give someone inaccurate information? I'll leave if I think it's
about
true,
a half mile, Doc. Okay, like closer to a mile or 3/4. What? Yes.
But you know what's fun about being down in the South is you generally measure distance in time. I was looking at Travis and Ace talking about how to do distance, and we're like, it's about 30 minutes away. But for somebody, it's like, well, how many miles is that? Like, if you're traveling 10 miles an hour, that's But if you're traveling 60 miles an hour, you're going a long way. In general, you're always going.
Yeah.
You're always going 55 in the South.
Have you ever been driving and then you kind of wake up 10 minutes later and you're like,
Yep.
was I even looking at the road?
Where was I? Where
What?
was I for the last 20
Oh
minutes?
my God. I'm already in Athens.
How am
Did
I
I kill
alive? Why am I pulling into the driveway? I just left school.
Like, where was I? It's like a
Yeah.
movie shutter just closes over your eyes and you see nothing.
They say that that's actually it's a real thing. We've gotten so good at driving that we've put it in the back processing,
Amygdala.
background processes of your brain. So
Amygdala.
it's no different than walking. You're just doing it at 70 miles per hour with a bunch of other people also going 70 miles per hour.
It's
It's
terrible.
a just let's load ourselves into missiles and launch us down the highway. Let's do some WT. Wait, is it W? Newsbear left untold. Thanks to Jacob, we only have 3 stories. He told me to give him a hard time. I didn't really want to do
Oh,
it,
yeah.
but he said,
Oh, okay, well, I'm gonna do it for him. So, like, Jacob's had Cyberpunk up his butt for the last 2 weeks. Like, after the baby goes to sleep, he rams it up there. He's like, "Yeah, this feels good." And so I got up and he said, "Honey, do you want to watch something?" I'm like, "What could we possibly watch?" Right? He's like, "I don't know. We can watch something," because he thought I was bored of watching him play Cyberpunk. When in reality, I'm like, I need to go put my contacts in because I have a show. Like, well, honey, I've got a show in 3 minutes. He goes, "Oh shit, I didn't get notes," and I'm like, "Of course you didn't." So he came in here and he's like, "I got you 3 notes. Have a good show."
and then he went right back to cyberpunking it.
Yep.
Show me them breastises. It is quite the nudie show. It's quite the nudie video game. Was not prepared for that. I mean, The
There's
Witcher was
so
nudie.
much violence in it, though. I'm like, it's funny that the things that bothers us are like
We're
the heart
Americans.
patch of vagina hair versus I don't
Well,
know, a chick getting sexually assaulted and then traumatized and then dies.
we've been blowing people up on video games since forever ago. We haven't seen real wieners in a video game in a while. That's new for a lot of us.
He made a chick, so I haven't seen as many wieners.
Oh, I made a dude because I always play
Oh,
me.
so you got full frontal wiener?
Yeah, I got full frontal wiener, but I probably will replay it as a chick, but as a corpo melee ninja sneaky chick.
That's
Because right now I'm like Doc Holliday. I'm like revolvers, yes, kapoosh.
revolver chicken, yes.
Yeah, yes.
TV's Travis once Wang. Okay.
Oh, Age
Oh,
of Conan. Yeah, Age of Conan had wieners in it. I played that for like 20 minutes. I bought it too.
I just looked down. I thought TV's Travis was like, I would like Wang too, but it was a typo.
Man want Wang. Yeah.
Man want Wang.
Man
You can
want-
have all the Wang you want, good sir.
Man want Wang. Man want someone else Wang. Not his own Wang.
Different Wang.
Residents of a Queens neighborhood are dealing with a squirrely threat. Denizens of the New York borough's Rego Park neighborhood say an aggressive squirrel has jumped on them and bitten them in the past several weeks. We knew this was coming. This is the
Yeah.
harbinger of doom. Michelin Frederick, what? Like the tire? Pointed to a bruise on her wrist where she said the squirrel landed on her and sank its teeth into her fingers and hand. We're wrestling in the snow and there's blood everywhere and my fingers are getting chewed and it won't let go, Frederick said. Eventually it just stopped and there I was, a big bloody mess. A photo Frederick says she took after the attack shows a snowy pathway covered in blood. This was an MMA cage match and I lost, she added. 2 other neighbors told WCBS the squirrel had jumped on them, seemingly unprovoked. These squirrels are aggressively going after people, Venati Singe said. The city's Department of Health advised the neighbors to hire a licensed trapper, but the large metal traps have not yet captured any squirrels. They're too smart. They're beyond this. The reason for the squirrel or squirrels' aggressive behavior is not clear. Small rodents like squirrels rarely test positive for rabies and are not known to have transmitted it to humans, according to the CDC. That's kind of cool. I didn't know that they'd never recorded a transfer of squirrel to human rabies. as much as you hear like that's a rabbit squirrel, don't touch that. It's more just to keep you from touching them. Squirrels used to be big pets back in the early 1900s.
I don't remember. I've never heard anybody talk about rabies and squirrels. It's always been raccoons, possums, bats kind of
Bats.
thing. Yeah.
Bats, according to Stephanie, if you have a bat in your home and you were unaware of it, like you'd slept through the night and find a bat or whatever, you have to go get a rabies shot by default.
Really?
Yeah. She said that they are notorious for rabies. No one told my grandma that though, because I remember a bat in our room when I was a kid, and she just chased it out with a broom. No rabies shot for me.
Bats at the I think Stephanie and Peyton and we stayed the night once at this lady's house in Charleston. I think it was like one of Peyton's friends or so. I don't know why we did it.
For
Oh,
funsies. Oh, you got to go?
Yeah, I don't know why he didn't come trade.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'll be back.
Okay. Pausing this thing.
Sorry.
Ba-na-na-na-na. We were close. We'd almost nailed the show and got it done before 10 o'clock. But then that happened. Wompity womp womp womp. That's okay. You hear with me. Anybody else been attacked by a bat or a squirrel in the since then? So my PlayStation 5 came today. It's pretty awesome. Not gonna lie. It came by Jacob's transfer service because it got shipped to him because he bought it from the GameStop for me, and then it made its way over to my house and I put it together and it fits like right in the shelf that I have for my PlayStation, just like with no room on either side. It just slips right into the slot there. Oh, hey, Jacob.
Slip it into the slot, baby.
I was telling him that you delivered my PlayStation 5 today and that it slips directly into the shelf with almost no space on either side.
It's a gorgeous thing, though, isn't it?
It's huge. It's huge.
But you have space on the top and the bottom, though, so that you can actually get airflow back there, right?
Yeah. It's just there's no room on the sides because it's a 15-inch. I think the PlayStation's 15-inch wide and it's a 15 and 3/4 inch space.
Oh, so it's like
it's an incredibly giant machine.
It is an incredibly giant machine, but it is gorgeous. I've been playing Cyberpunk on it because I was playing it on the PS4, and the difference that it makes 90-second load times whenever you die versus 10 seconds. It's completely game changing for me. I'm like, oh, I don't mind reloading now.
Yeah. Are there any other graphical improvements for Cyberpunk with the PS5? Does it give you any like pro features, or is it just like it's the PS4 game? It's just on a PS5.
Oh, it's gorgeous on the PS. So we switched to the 4K TV, and so that made it that definitely improved things. However, switching to the PS5 completely changed the gameplay. It changed the graphics. It changed everything.
Mm.
So I feel like it's a significant upgrade. How about that?
Yeah. So you're not just going from you're going from a PS4, not a PS4 Pro, to the
Right.
PS5. So you're getting all those pro enhancements that you weren't getting before.
I mean,
Which
what was
is
the
like the better
PS4 came out
graphics.
in, when did the PS4 come out?
I
It
don't
came out
know.
like 2013, 12, 14,
2000. Yeah, that's older
12.
than dirt, right? Yeah, 2012.
I mean, we're essentially looking at 2012 technology, so 8 years ago.
I didn't have a kid when it came out. That much I know is true. November
Yeah.
15, 2013. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're talking
November
about
20
technology 7 years old.
Yeah, that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
But no, it's
And
good.
then-
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I didn't have anything.
I was going to say the Pro came out in what, 2017 or something like that. So they made an upgrade midway through, but I had the PS4 since I guess 2015 or 2014. So
Yeah.
yeah,
They made it smooth for upgrading though. Like that whole
They did.
process, just like if you're out there and you're like, "Hey, I'm excited about a PS5." Like if you have a PS4, it's just complete the simplest process ever. Transfer everything from your PS4 over to the PS5. It does all that at startup. So it's like
Mhm.
starts up, you do all your things, you log in, and then you're like, "Hey, you want to transfer your data?" And it looks for it on your network, and if it finds it, it's like, "Hey, found one." Press the power
Yeah.
button on it just to make sure that that's the one we want to use, and then padoosh, copy the stuff and you're done.
And the other thing it copies is some of your apps. So if you have like Netflix or if you have Amazon Prime Video or Disney Plus or whatever you've got on there, it also transfers those over. The only problem is obviously it doesn't keep save your login information. So you got to go back through and re-log in everything. So it took me
Yeah.
probably 20 minutes to go through that process to log into everything. But after that, it was fine. So
Yeah. It is a snazzy box. I was
it
playing
is.
Miles Morales earlier, and my word, that was cool. That was even when
Now,
Stephanie came downstairs, she's like, "Oh man, that looks good." It's like, "Yes, it does. This is
now
great."
that was made for the PS5, right?
Yeah, I think Miles Morales was. Maybe not. That's a good question because it also came out on the PS4. So I don't know if that was
Okay.
an upgrade or a down port or an up port. I don't know which way
Yeah.
that went.
Hmm.
But I do know that it was meant to be a launch title, and it is good.
Yeah,
Very good.
I'm gonna have to play that. Yeah, once I get out of the cyberpunk, that thing's gripped me by the balls. Every time Tater Tot goes to bed, I'm like, cyberpunk. Tater Tot to bed, cyberpunk.
Look, if you were talking to the internet, you would think that you were in the minority.
I know, right? Everybody hates cyberpunk, but no, not for me.
Yeah, no,
Not for
I'm
me.
digging it. I'm digging
No.
it. I'm having a great time. I'm trying to make sure I finish it because once a game starts to surpass like the 2 week mark for me, I start to get antsy, particularly when there's other games begging for my attention. So I'm
Yeah,
like, I must continue playing it till I beat it at the very least. Because if I don't, I'll put it down. I'll forget how to play, and I'll go do something else. So I just put up Miles Morales, just fiddle with it. But I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna finish Cyberpunk, and then I'm gonna play that.
there you go.
That's a challenge. I'll tell you this. I do have a pretty solid, good review of Amazon Luna. Speaking of the
Oh
games,
yeah.
that is an impressive service. So I'm not a Google Stadia person. I didn't try Stadia, but I
Mhm.
did want to try Luna just because, like, I got everything else I got is Amazon. I might as well give Bezos some more dollars. So I got an
Bezos needs more
Amazon.
bucks.
He does, and it's more subscription based. Where Stadia is like you have to buy the games; you're just buying them for Stadia,
Right.
which is a little bit different of a concept. But I got the Ubisoft Plus thing, so you can play all the Assassin's Creed games and any other Ubisoft games that were out there. And I've started pulling up Assassin's Creed Origins, playing that on Luna. It is gorgeous, like it is mind-blowingly good. I'm real shocked at the graphical. Like it looks better than when I'm streaming local games to my Steam link.
Now, see, that's impressive because I mean, basically, you're playing it off their server, and
Yeah,
you're streaming it directly from their server to whatever you're streaming from, and you're playing it from that device. So that's actually pretty impressive. If you're telling me that it's
I will show it to you next opportunity I get. I've got to show you just so you can see it. Because it blew my mind. I was like, this looks way better than I ever expected to. It's ridiculous. Technology is ridiculous, and I think we're likely to move into the. We're going to be seeing more subscription based game. I think everything's subscriptions and services. That's the
oh yeah.
future. I don't know if this is the last console generation, but we're going to see more of a profit share or a market share of subscription gaming and video services come online, and it's going to be a whole new frontier, man. If the internet gets better.
Yeah.
Because you got people out in the sticks who still can't. I mean, they can't play anything now because there's 87 gig patches the day a game comes out.
Oh yeah. Well, and if you're pulling 1 gig down and 200 megabyte up, then even if you go 1 gig down, 1 gig up, yeah, you could do exactly what you're saying. But how many places actually have that?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, for sure. Faux
especially whenever you
show.
get 10 miles outside of any big city that has it.
Yeah, Jacob,
So,
2021's coming
mhm.
tomorrow.
Yep.
We're gonna officially be in 2021. What's your goal? What's your 2021 goal or goals that come to mind when you think about things you want to do in this new year? Now, and that you got to leave out survive because that's pretty obvious. And that's a
Um,
basic goal, but it may be a useful one.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I have any real goals. I think I want to just tidy up my life a little bit, if that makes any sense. I just there are quite a few things that are just always hanging chads and loose ends in my life, and I want to try to do a little bit better job of cleaning up some of those loose ends. Um, and I don't want to just come out and say, "Oh, I want to follow up better. I want to send more texts. I mean, I want to make sure I connect with people." Because I mean, that's not really to me. That's not that's not really what I want. What I really want is just to make sure that I'm conscientiously following up on things. So I think just cleaning up a few loose ends on the back end whenever I'm doing things. I think that's probably where I'm at. How about you?
That's a fair goal. I want to not eat like a I don't want to eat anymore.
Ever?
I want to use DoorDash less and cook meals more.
That's a good.
How's that's the sim-
That's a good one.
I am in a far so I'm not in a bad place in all for all respects, but I'm in a less good place than I was this time last year, in terms of taking care of myself. And most of that's because flipping pandemics ruined my life. Nah, that's not true. That's not true. I just couldn't go peruse the grocery store and be like, I'm going to grab some carrots and some celery and some blah 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 blah. Ordering
Yep.
groceries online sucks. It's way more time consuming and annoying than actually just strolling the aisles of the grocery store.
Yes.
That's what I've found.
DoorDash has made it unbelievably easy to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you have to play premium. I mean, I went on Jimmy John's a couple of nights ago because Ashley and I got subs a couple of nights ago, and I went on the Jimmy John's app, and I it was about $5 cheaper than Jimmy John's was through DoorDash, and I even got a $5 off coupon through DoorDash. So I'm like, it's actually $10 cheaper just to go through the Jimmy John's app and have them deliver it than it was to
Yeah.
go through the DoorDash app and have them deliver it.
DoorDash is
So I was
handy
like,
if the
well,
place, if they don't deliver, like if the place doesn't have a delivery system, then DoorDash makes sense. But
that's
Jimmy
right.
John's, that's part of their
Yeah.
business model. Like you can go on DoorDash and be like, bring me
Super freaky
Domino's.
fast.
Yeah, super freaky fast. Oh man, I want
That's
an
right.
Italian night out.
Go get me Papa John's.
Yeah, like why would you do that? Then pay them a premium? Like it's crazy. But yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
I think one of
That's
my
very
main things is to get back because back when we were doing that strenuous life activity, I was doing 30 minutes of movement a day. It's probably the healthiest I've been was when I was focused on doing the 30 minutes a day of good exercise and the good deed.
Yeah. Well, so
Yeah,
maybe that's what we should do. Maybe our goal should be to re-engage in strenuous life.
maybe we should. Wait, you know what?
Maybe we should.
Let's make a healthy strenuous go channel in Discord. And anyone who wants to contribute with us can join in.
There it is.
Yeah.
I mean, my goal really is just not to get scratched in the face anymore by Tater Tot. I've got 14 scratches all over my face. I've got one here. I've got one on this side of my nose. I got one on this side of my nose. I got one on my lip. He
Yeah.
loves to scratch. That's my New Year's resolution is not to get scratched.
Attaboy, Weapon X. You show him
He's
what's
got some
what.
claws, man. It's like Wolverine up in there.
They're so tiny. They're so lethal.
They are. They're
He
lethal.
is,
Lethal figures.
wait till he learns the Kalima. Then you got to really watch him. Like stop! Don't take my heart out. Kalima.
All right.
Yeah.
Ashley's playing Cyberpunk, so I'm in trouble.
Okay, you better get out of there. Go rescue your
All right.
character before she kills you.
She'll be fine. I'll just reload.
Okay.
It only takes 10 seconds on the PS5, guys. All right, bye.
Yay. Have fun. Back at it. Man, yeah, we used to go up the street to a Jimmy John's. I was thinking about Jimmy John's the other day, like when place I used to go when I worked at a building downtown. I would go to this place called Firewalk, and they had a delicious General Tso's chicken, General Tso's chicken. Oh man, it was good, and pounds of rice, pounds and pounds.
I see. When Ashley wants to play the video game, I can't play the video game. But Jacob
less-
can play the video game all the time.
You only like 2 video games. Which ones? Hyrule Warriors and Breath of the Wild.
I have not played Hyrule Warriors in weeks. Weeks.
Well,
It's real
we'll
sad.
get that. Stephanie still hasn't picked it up. She spent her gift card on what is it? Hearthstone, but hasn't played Hyrule Warriors yet. Like,
Oh,
where you at,
really?
Stephanie? I'm playing Hearthstone.
It's fun. It's just like it's actually a really good game right now because after he got through that, whatever, it's fine. I want to end this on a positive note because I was in there like feeding my child. And I'm like, I'm being such a douche nugget.
Well, let's do it. All right, here we go. Okay, and we're back. Oh no, I was gonna play a sound when we came back.
Bing bong.
There we go. So I was talking to Jacob about this New Year's goals. Do you have any? Does the chat have any? Does anyone have any? Because we used to do what's your New Year's resolution, but seeing as Ashley and I and Jacob are just clearly just terrible at our jobs, we didn't plan for this New Year's show at all. Outside of,
One
are we
bit.
going to do one? Yeah, let's do one. Okay. But what do we got? Do you have any goals?
So I actually read into like ADHD and New Year's resolutions and stuff because I'm awful at analyzing what I did right and wrong because it always comes out. I mean, just I was thinking about the show and I'm like, I'm sure I've said one funny thing, but to me, I'm like, I've been the most negative, horrible, insufferable pain in the ass this entire show. And it's New Year's, and I don't want to do that. So my brain struggles with analyzing how the year went because everything I did is garbage. And then I struggle with making resolutions because I want to do everything and I don't understand the time allotment associated with things. So, long story short, I have zero resolutions, but I'm going to try to manage my time in a more ADHD friendly manner so that I can have a routine.
There you go. Routines are key. Knowing what you need to do and when
Yes.
you need to do it on a regular basis matters a lot. Well, that's good.
It's
Well,
it's
yeah.
difficult for me to do that because it's real difficult. My brain's like, "Bleh!"
Time. Well, I've got this handy dandy new heroes journal that two wonderful human beings got me for Christmas. And I haven't decided what my hero's journey is yet, but I've
Oh,
got to
that's
get one.
Did you get
It's
the
really
email I
fun.
sent you with all
Yes.
the
I
okay,
meant to email you
sweet.
back, but I usually just look at my email on my phone and go, oh, emailing on my phone's really inconvenient. And I just don't respond to people.
That
Uh,
sounds weird.
what? It's fine. I knew I'd talk to you at some point. No, I got it.
Yeah.
But I got to figure out what that like, because you got to have different types of goals, right? There's your lifestyle goals of like, I'm gonna make these changes and try to make them stick. Because I usually
Yes.
use the word try,
Floss your
even though
teeth.
Yoda tells me not to, simply because I know me and I know that I will also think of myself as a terrible human being if I didn't do it right. If I didn't go
Yep.
all in. So it's like I want to write two stories. Actually, I have to write three, but I got three noodling stories rolling around in my little brain that I want to write. One of which I want to give to Kelly so she will quit yelling at me to make her. I want her to be rich and famous, and I want her to help me get there. There's like there's a couple others I got rolled around, and I might use my hero's journal to try and get those down. But there's things that time is a thing that you only have so much of. So I have to find a way to stop playing video games and do other things I'm responsible for. And that's probably the biggest challenge. I don't want to do that. Playing video games is fun. People keep making such good content that I don't want to miss out on because it's cool.
I
Anyway.
wanted to play WoW. I remember talking to Sub right before Kiddo went through this last leap, and I'm like, he's going to sleep now. I could play WoW with you. And the baby's like, okay.
Yeah, sure. Sign up to be the healer in the dungeons for the raid team. That sounds like a great idea.
Okay,
Where
bye.
where did Ashley
Well,
go? She's
people
standing
kept
in the
telling me
poop
they're
and
like, yeah, by 8 months, like, they just sleep through the night, but nobody told me that they just like left them alone. Like, sure, they fell asleep eventually, but I can't bring myself to do that. So here we
nah.
are.
And to each his own. We never did that. We were always there. It makes it a lot more challenging on your part, but you're also
Sure.
like, I'm a giving person who wants to
I
try to.
don't feel like a guilty piece of shit for ignoring my. Anyway, I'm positive. I'm positive. We're positive.
We
This is
are
me being positive.
positive. You're
Positive.
doing great. Everything you've
Sure.
done is right. 2020 was a flaming pooper, and I don't think anybody could. I am Ashley. I'm not a year hater. I remember when 2016 everybody's pooping on the year. I'm like, that's stupid. Bad things
I
happen
don't
every
remember
year. Some of the
2016.
like 87 famous people we know died, but it's just gonna happen. That's our generation. We are at the
Yeah.
point where we are losing people we grew up with, and that hurts.
Yeah.
And we are more pop culture driven as our generation than our parents were. So when they
Yeah.
lost like Carol O'Connor, Archie Bunker, they were just like, Archie Bunker died. But we're like, Archie Bunker died.
Let me
It's
post about it
stupid.
on Twitter for
And
4
we post
hours. What
about
they
it,
meant to
and
be.
right, and because everybody can tell each other, we're all like, oh, we're all in mourning over Tom Petty. And it's like, in all honesty, when's the last time you listened to Heartbreakers album? Were you just chomping at the bit to get the next Tom Petty album? Probably not.
Did Tom Petty
But
die?
yeah, Tom Petty died, and that sucked. I mean, because he was a good artist and you respect his work, but it's like, why is it crushing our souls? But that was, all that was 2016. This year, we learned what real pain was in not going outside and hating people you once liked. Uh, like, I did like you until I learned that you were a selfish piece of crap, and now I don't like you anymore. Uh, but we like other things. Don't we both love Jesus? Yes, but you clearly love him differently than I do. And because I thought
I
loving
love
other,
Jesus, but not my grandma.
yeah, right. I, I was told that whatever I do for the least of these, I do for him. You were apparently told that I just do whatever the crap I want. Uh, anyway, that's never not to get into that. You said positive.
Oh,
Uh,
it's so hard.
I hope for the
It's
best. I hope for
But
the
yes,
best.
I would like to I may contact a professional and be like, look, I can't take medication because I'm nursing and I want to get pregnant again here shortly. But I desperately need some like behavioral therapy to get through this because I need a routine. My child will need a routine because I'm like, a lot of times I don't eat breakfast until 2 in the afternoon and you can't
You
like, that's
can't do that.
not okay. Like, he tells me when he wants milk, but he's interested in solid food now, and I'm like, breakfast shouldn't be at 2 for him. I shouldn't just feed him randomly throughout the day. Like, if I'm gonna feed him solids, it should be these certain times, typically right
Sure.
around each other, right? But I can't do that. I don't know how to do that. I am incapable.
Well, the good news is that everyone needs someone to help their brain along the journey. Like for serious, if anybody needs somebody to chat with, meat bags are hard to drive around. They got a lot of things that you carry all this junk. Particularly when we get to our age, we've got all this stuff that has groomed us to be who we are, and we're like, you know what? A lot of that stuff, I'm coming to the realization I don't like it, need it,
Yeah.
and I still have time to change it. I just need somebody to call me out who's unbiased and doesn't love me like other people will be like, whatever you need to take care of yourself.
Yes.
I need somebody to go, no, that's stupid. You don't
Yeah,
need
what
what
you're
you're
doing
doing.
is dumb.
What
Fix
you're
it.
doing
This
is
how.
dangerous and it's hurting you. Not somebody be like, here's some more meth. Because you said you need it because you're hurting. So here's some more meth, just a little more meth, just to help you. I need somebody to come in and be like, you're not getting any more meth, but I want it. No, I'm not on meth, but you get it. Basically, my meth
Dude,
is a donut.
yes. So I was driving home the other day. I went to mom's and she had like these caramels, and I'm just popping caramels on my way home because I'm like, I haven't like, did I eat today? There's like a joke with all the nursing moms right now that like we're all a little chubby, and I'm like, when do we eat? Like, we're nursing, we're not eating. Like, why are we not like super skinny right now? But anyway, so I'm like popping this in my mouth. I'm like, this is shit. I am putting literal addictive bullshit in my mouth right now. And then I thought about this whole society where like sugar was a drug because it elicits a dopamine response, and like where it was illegal because it's bad for you and it's
Yeah.
highly addictive. But then you run into this culture where they put it in every. I'm like, what if sugar was like heroin? And corporations just put a little bit of it in everything, right? Like, well, we put a little heroin in our foods to make them more addictive, so you eat more of them.
Oh, geez.
Like that, but that's what it is. Like it's not good for you. Your body doesn't need white refined sugar. It does really bad things, but they put it in everything to make it taste better, to make it more addictive. And I'm like, yeah,
They're
good
taking
point, Travis.
advantage of we're taking advantage of us, man, because our brains do need glucose, right? That's how they function. So when
Yeah.
we were a hunter-gatherer society, we'd walk around and be like, oh, snap, strawberries. Blah, 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 right? It's need that. My brain needs that. So your brain conditions like, you have to find that because if you don't find sugar, I'll die. And that's
Yeah.
bad. So make
Yeah.
sure you find sugar and don't just eat rabbits all day, okay? And we're like, okay, brain. I saw blueberries, blah, blah, blah. I saw a banana, blah, blah, blah. You know, like, so now we're just, when you walk in the grocery store, you walk down the cereal aisle, your brain's like, Cocoa Puffs, Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And you're like, yes, please, I'll put that in the cart. That won't hurt so bad, will it? No, that won't hurt so bad. Ketchup. Oh, ketchup's fine. Look at the back. 75 grams added sugar. I mean, it's okay. This is all you're just grabbing all these things and it's all got it in there because we're broken. I want to do the Penn Jillette thing where I eat nothing but like plain microwave potatoes for 2
Yeah.
weeks to clear my palate. So I eat kale and I'm like, this is the tastiest thing I've ever had. Because right now, if I eat
so
kale, I'm like,
hard,
I'm gonna throw
though.
up. Kale is gross.
Kale chips are one of my favorite things ever. If you make the vegan cheese on it, nom 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 nom.
Well,
But they're hard to buy them because they all crumble apart and they're super expensive to buy like the vegan cheese kale chips.
you
But
can't
if you
just
make
go
them in
buy
your
a
own,
party size kale
no,
chip
yeah,
bag.
they come in like a little like a tub like that for like $900. And if you make them on your own, you need about 30 bushels of kale.
Yeah, because you're like, I'm just gonna put this giant bush of kale in this pot, and it shrinks down to like the size of a bowl of cereal. You're like, this is
Yeah,
stupid.
like when you dehydrate it, it's like an old man's rectum.
It's like wrecked him, darn near killed him. Y'all, this has been a good year. 2020 has been a dumpster fire, but it's had some highlights. I mean, I got a new nephew out of it, and that was pretty
Ah,
cool.
baby.
My son's gotten more awesome as time has gone on. He now sneaks out of the room so he can go downstairs and play his game before we wake up and tell him he has to stop. These kinds of things are a joy. There are things that are clearly a joy. I do miss my friends. I miss trivia night. I miss a lot of things, but I truly do have hope for the next year. And what we're likely to do. I hope we can go Dragon Con and see you guys. And
Yes.
maybe we'll figure out something along the way. But we're gonna get through it. It's a symbolic reboot. Tomorrow's no different than yesterday. You don't wake up tomorrow with more willpower than you've ever shown in your entire life. So set
Never
reasonable
stay
goals
up
for
willpower.
yourself. Every day, every minute is an opportunity to try and do differently. Things that you did a minute ago. You can be like, snap, I shouldn't have eaten that ice cream. You don't have to eat another gallon of ice cream through the end of the day because today was wasted.
But you're not a bad, horrible person if you do. Sugar is addictive.
You're not. It's not everything's your fault. Not everything is in your control. A lot of things are, but you know what? We're going to work through them together. So, with that being said, happy 2020. Happy 2021. Go to sleep cuz F the ball drop. We've been watching this drop the ball all year long.
F the ball drop.
So don't if your balls have dropped, you go to sleep cuz it's too late for staying
TV
up.
Travis is gonna dye his hair purple.
Sweet. I love that. I
I
that.
said it on
Travis
the
is
internet, so now
best.
you have to do it purple.
Now he has
Neener,
to.
neener.
If you like listening to this show, your New Year's gift to us can be a review of 5 stars somewhere on whatever podcast service you like. Follow us on Twitter. I'm Steve H&H. Ashley is Fate Kills, PHATE Kills. And can tip us if you want to make the show. If you want to go ahead and just send us a nickel, say we like you, go to twoworks.net/tip. And if you want to do that on a monthly basis, even $1 a month helps. Twodorks.net/support. You can do that. And we're gonna leave you with these words of wisdom, leading you into 2021. Jonathan Lockwood Huie said, "Celebrate endings, for they precede new beginnings." There it is. Where one door closes,
My
another door
2020.
opens.
Suck
Bye.
my nuts on the way out. Yay!
Good riddance. Bye. Love y'all. See you next time. Blah, blah, blah,
See you
blah.
next year.